Join me as I take on the challenge of getting rid of sacroiliac joint pain using only gentle chair exercises for seniors. Today I'm addressing quite a common lower back issue, and that is sacroiliac joint dysfunction. Now, if you wake up in the morning and you might have stiffness or pain on one side of the lower back, perhaps on both, but more than likely one side or the other, you could be suffering from sacroiliac joint dysfunction. Now, what would spur on this pain? Well, it could be many different things. Climbing stairs could aggravate it, or it could show up the symptoms. You could feel pain coming into your buttocks area, even radiating into the hips and maybe even into the thigh. Could be all signs and symptoms of sacroiliac joint pain. If you don't know who I am, my name is Marius Visser. I'm a biokineticist at the Namibian Oncology Center, and today I'm going to show you 4 exercises that you can do using only a chair to help you get rid of that sacroiliac joint pain. So before we get started, it's always a good idea to speak to your healthcare provider just to give the go-ahead for exercise. And also, just a side note, these exercises might not work for everybody. I don't know what your situation is. You might have different lower back pain coming from different areas, or you may have had a hip replacement, which could complicate things a little bit further. But I will talk you through the exercise modifications that you need to do if you had a hip replacement. So let's begin. So our first thing that we always want to do is try to loosen up and give a little bit of a stretch in that hip and sacroiliac joint area. And if you cannot do these exercises on the floor, some of you I know cannot get onto the floor, so we're going to do the best with what we've got. So we're going to be sitting nice and tall. We're going to cross our one leg. It can be both. It doesn't matter which side your pain is. We're going to be doing both sides, or you should be doing both sides. So we're crossing the leg over the knee. For those of you who had hip replacements, just be careful with this stretch. You don't want to go too aggressively into it. Always use your breathing to calm the muscles and to help you relax. So take a deep breath in and breathe out and start leaning forward, but keep your spine as straight as possible, and you'll start feeling a pull right in the buttocks area in that back. You might even feel it in that sacroiliac joint area. And hold for a few seconds, take a deep breath in, and we try and hold this for at least 20 to 30 seconds. And every time you breathe out, you'll feel that you're getting further and further into the stretch. Now again, you don't want to be too aggressive with the stretch, especially if you had a hip replacement. As soon as you feel a gentle stretch, you stop right there. Don't try to force it. And hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll change to the other side. And we switch, other ankle on top of the knee. And this side, I can feel I'm a little bit tighter on this one, so I'm just going to start by sitting as tall as I can. And just by sitting as tall as I can already feel the stretch. I'm not even leaning forward a little bit, and I'm feeling the stretch already. You can place this hand on top of this knee and give it a little bit of a gentle pressure down, and that'll actually increase the stretch. Now, I'm going to myself lean forward slightly so I can get deep into that stretch, because I haven't had a hip replacement yet, touch wood. So I'm feeling that stretch, taking a deep breath in and breathe out. And as I breathe out, I'm still keeping my spine straight, and I'm just leaning forward. I'm actually using my own body weight as momentum to hang me forward or lean forward over that hip and hold for 10. I can feel a really good stretch coming out of this left hip. And last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. So our next exercise, I want to just make sure that your lumbar spine and your thoracic spine is as mobile as it can be. So to do that, we're going to cross hands, opposite hand on the opposite knee. We're going to straighten this arm out, take a deep breath in. And as we breathe out with a nice tall spine, we rotate as far back as we can. And we come back. Keep it there for a second or two. Breathe in and out. And we're going to do 5 on each side. 2, that's it. And let's go again. Take a deep breath in. The breathing is important because it prepares the body for movement and relaxation as well. And it releases a lot of the tension that we carry in our bodies, and especially our spines. So last one. And breathe out. Lift the chest, keep the spine nice and tall, and come back. Let's do the other side. And 1, and come back. Now you might feel you're a little bit more tighter on the one side than on the other, and that's okay. You just push through and try to match what you've got on the one side. Now, it might be your sacroiliac joint pain that is limiting this rotation, which is another good reason to always do this one ahead of the exercises we're going to be doing, because you want to eliminate any unnecessary tension that you're carrying in your back, whether it's your lower or your upper back. And one more, and breathe out. That's it. So we're just doing some basic housekeeping for the spine, making sure we are mobile in both directions. So now let's start with our first exercise. We're going to use just our hands for this one. And you're going to place your hands, your fists next to each other. You're going to space your knees, approximately just inside hip width. Place your hands on the inside of your knees. Okay? Still sitting nice and tall. You want to try and keep a 90-degree angle in your pelvis or your hips, and also a little bit of a curvature in the lumbar spine. So a little bit of a hollowness in that lumbar back. I don't want you flexing forward like that. Keep a nice tall spine. Straighten your arms if you have to, and place them in between the knees. Now what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze your knees together as hard as you can. And we're going to hold that for 5 seconds. Are you ready? And squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And relax. We're going to do it again. We're going to do it 5 times. And press. 1, 2. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 3, 4, and 5. And let's do 3 more. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And let's do the last one. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And relax. All right, so you will feel tension inside the pelvis, maybe even radiating into that lower back and sacroiliac joint area. So what we are trying to do is we're creating a co-contraction inside the pelvis to help realign that sacroiliac joints with each other. If they're out, they might not be out, there might just be a little bit of ossification on that sacroiliac joint, but we are strengthening the pelvic muscles leading into that pelvic area where the sacroiliac joints connect onto the pelvis. Next up, we're going to do that for 2 sets of 5 times 5 seconds. So if you have a problem using your fists next to each other, squeezing between your knees because your hands are painful, maybe you've got some arthritis in your hands, you can use a towel, you can use a small soccer ball or a football or anything that you can fit in between your knees that is approximately the width of 2 of your fists, and then focus on squeezing and getting that contraction. It has to be a maximal contraction. In the beginning, it might feel a little bit uncomfortable or painful, and you might only squeeze at 50 or 60% of your maximal voluntary contraction. That is okay. The more you get used to this exercise, the more you're going to start feeling that you can go up to 70, 80, 90, or even 100% of your maximal voluntary contraction to get that pelvis to co-contract for a maximum 5 seconds, and then relax. And then again, and then relax 5 times. So our last exercise for our sacroiliac joint chair exercise is we're going to cross this leg again, but this time you're going to keep the knee as high as you can, almost as if you want to stretch it across to the opposite side. So I want you to take your fingers, lace them in, and put them around the outside of your knee, as if you want to stretch. But we're not going to be stretching, we are going to be pushing into your hands. So the idea is you want to push this knee down towards the floor, but you are stopping that movement by pulling on the knee. So at the same time, the same force is going this way, you're going to match coming this way. So the end result is there will be no movement, but there will be a maximal contraction at the back area of the glutes and the sacroiliac joint area. So are we ready? We're going to place our hands there. Nice tall spine. I'm pulling a little bit just to tense the muscles. Now I'm going to push against my hand for 5 seconds and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And already I can feel this glute burning in the back. And again, and go. Push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And again, 3 more. Push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yo. And 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax. I can definitely feel there's some activity in the back. Even though I don't have sacroiliac joint pain, I do feel that there is a lot of tension coming into this posterior hip. Now again, those of you who had hip replacements, please take caution with this exercise. You will not go as hard, and do not pull your knee all the way to your chest if you've had a hip replacement. We're keeping this angle quite open, or between your knee and your chest. We're keeping that angle quite wide. And all you're doing is you're pressing down with the muscles of the hip while you're holding that position in the back. So if you had a hip replacement, be very careful. Take caution. Again, it's got to be 12 weeks post-op before you even consider doing this with a hip replacement. So having said that, we're going to grab this knee around the outside of the knee, and we're going to push down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. And again, deep breath in, and as you breathe out, you push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Let's go 3 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep that chest up. I don't want you to drop your chest like that. I want you to focus on that hollow back. And go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can really feel that muscle pulling in the back. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And relax. So there we go. 4 exercises that you can do in your chair if you cannot make it onto the floor to help alleviate that sacroiliac joint pain. If you like this video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below and tell me how your exercises are going. See you next time.